Hello and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. Casey, what happened last time?
Um, we talked a lot. We just talked, yeah. Um, we talked to the people that were at the bottom of the stairs, and we were very pleased to learn that Bajak's dad sent a crew to watch the stairs. We think are confident for to help us. Yeah. And then we saw something out of the corner of our eyes and went to go check it out. It was Ilya. She's very good at blinding Shade and Pog. But Ari visited with her for a little bit.
Had a good chat.
Yeah, lovely.
Ari fell down the
We
stairs.
we heard it.
Shush.
It's true. And actually it worked out well for him. And then Pog went to go visit Dane, and they had a conversation, and Dane is accompanying Pog back to the school now.
That is accurate. So when we left off, we had gathered around the Stryke Force table.
Right.
Dane,
really cool
being
table.
told that there were no assigned seats, sat down at one end of it.
Which is totally cool because that leaves Pog the option to have Strike Force laid out in front of him, which is way more in charge feeling.
Mm-hmm. So Dane sits down, leans forward onto his elbows, his hands up, and says, "So, I suppose you'd tell me what this is all about."
Oh, should I bring up?
I mean, if you want the visual, you can, but one of the things that you went to go take care of came after us under the city.
I'm going to require clarification.
Okay.
It's Tomo.
Kenneth-
I don't know why they... Are we not supposed to use his name?
The Kenneth murder
that's
bot?
not what you were talking about.
Pog gets
There's
up to
so
go
many
get the
things to
carcass.
catch you up on.
And so much in our
Sounds
basement.
like-
Yeah, you said basement. You're right. You're right. There's a lot down there.
One of the Kenneth murder bots that the Kenneth facility was manufacturing to come after us.
Ah, I see.
So we
I was
are
afraid
looking
they'd have
to-
more than one facility.
So okay. That's a bummer. So we also have a prisoner from Colsier's group who
Who's
relayed to us
apparently
that
Tommel.
yes, that Colsier's next step or a step is going to deal with the Kenneth facility that's manufacturing these things.
Oh, that's
Our
good.
hope was to try to also go to that Kenneth facility to potentially catch him off guard, deal a blow to him outside of the city where collateral damage might be mitigated, and also deal with the Kenneth facility while we're there.
I see.
And we were hoping that you might have some intel on where that Kenneth facility might be, but if you took care of the one you went after, that might be a problem.
I did. But I will remind you again that Tommel told you that the facility is out by the Throne Gate ruins.
Right. By the Throne Gate ruins. Thank you. Well, was the facility that you went and dealt with out by the Throne Gate ruins?
No.
So that's the one that we're going after. Any insider intel that you'd be up for sharing?
Well, the one I went after, most of the protection was automatons and some warforged. I would assume that the Kenneth defenses at this one would be similar. I don't know what Kulsir would bring into the mix.
Nothing good, but
we fought a few different sorts of constructs. Noticed that at least one of them was pretty easily able to shift its form to adapt to the kinds of damage that we threw at it.
Okay.
Seemed like there were a lot of different experimental models of this thing. So I don't know if they've settled on what they intended it to be, or if they're still, or if what you ran into was a field test.
Yeah. This one was able to paralyze me with a gaze attack, and then it immediately scooped me up and tried to carry me away, and these two stopped it before it could get far. So I don't know if that aligns with the standard models.
We did see some holding chambers.
Gotcha.
I don't know whether it's a matter of they're using captives to test the machines, or learning things from the captives to apply to the machines.
Do you think there's any way that they could replicate our marks?
They might be able to replicate some of the effects of our marks. Some marks are not greatly dissimilar to spells that a wizard could learn. I don't know. Unless a mark is just particularly powerfully destructive, I can't think of why it would be useful to them to replicate a mark. With obvious exceptions, obviously they've used what they learned about Thora.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be interested in my capacity to fiddle with someone's head being used in a weapon.
No.
I know that we had a tad bit of a disagreement the last time we had a conversation in this house about what to do with the work that Kenneth was doing.
Right.
How did things end up shaking out for? Did you acquire some of these machines? Or was it
We
destructive?
acquired, most of it was destroyed. We acquired some useful data that Forge is working with. We did not acquire a complete one.
What data?
A bit of the schema. Just part of the schematic on the construction of them.
Is Forge still looking into it, or are you pretty up to date on what they've found?
Forge is still working on it. We haven't managed anything practicable out of it yet.
Fair enough.
Now that we could apply to one.
So no obvious, like, off buttons.
Oh, no.
Any weaknesses? I know that you dealt with one that was able to kind of mitigate your damage, but anything that you found?
They're not specifically vulnerable to any particular kind of damage. They're pretty obviously designed to take a lot of punishment by someone who has a good idea of the level of punishment we can deal out.
All right.
So how did you take care of the facility that you took care of?
We smashed it all to hell.
I mean, you could have lit it on fire, or just, okay.
We smashed everything that was available to us to smash. Put everything beyond
enough.
use, beyond repair. Tore everything apart, tore any of the machines apart that were left over.
Well, unless there's an immediate veto here at the table, which I'm open to hearing, I'd be inclined to have your firsthand knowledge in the field if you're feeling up for it. I know we
Yeah,
turned
I
you
was
down
just
last
thinking.
time, but
There were 3 of us against the one. If we're going to a whole facility, we need more.
but having said that, if you want to, obviously we didn't go with you last time, so if you want to say no, then that seems fair.
No, it might be something useful to find.
Great. Great. Prior to encountering the thing firsthand, I would say main concern is Colseer, which might still be the case. I don't know. Colseer wants to raise the city. Well, if you talk to the guy down in the basement, he wants to give everyone a chance to assimilate under his reign, and anybody that rejects that offer will then be dealt with. But I don't know. We fought Colseer and his gang before, and they're dangerous. And I'm just trying to give you the full picture that it's going to be worse than the Cannon facility you dealt with, because, I mean, I legitimately died the last time we tangled with Colseer's minions, and they had to bring me back. So I don't want you to feel like we aren't giving you the full picture before you sign on to go with us. And Shade was captured. Got out on her own, though. Like, she escaped, but she did get captured at one point. And so.
Well, sounds like an opportunity.
That it is. Are you staying anywhere in the city? Do you need someplace to crash? We've got rooms.
Well, if you're offering, I suppose I wouldn't mind staying. I have a
Barring
place,
Thor's
of
approval,
course.
obviously. But yeah.
Thora, can Dane stay over?
She's pretty busy right now, Pog. I don't know if she'll answer.
She
right
didn't
away.
say no.
It's true.
Fair enough.
Okay. I would really love to have the opportunity to have a conversation with Thora before we head out, considering that she's trying to learn more about what's going on with this, but I don't know how long we can wait to hear back from her. It's been coming up on nearly a day.
Well,
What do you all think?
I don't think she's going to learn anything more than Dane probably knows. The chances are she's not going to find somebody who has fought them already. If anyone's telling her the truth at all.
The other concern would be us taking off out of the school before she's back, with these things potentially being in the city.
We have friends we can ask to stay here and watch.
Yeah. Fair. Dane, would a nighttime approach be more advantageous, or is it, since it's mostly automata and that ilk, does it not matter?
well, obviously any, or most, humanoid observers will be at a somewhat disadvantage in the night. On the other hand, we'll be at somewhat of a disadvantage in the night. But So it's a trade-off.
What do y'all think? Shade, you know the jungle. Is it more dangerous with what lurks at the night, or?
What do I know about that?
I mean, yeah, definitely there are more predators out at night than in the middle of the day.
For you, yes.
Rude, but thank you.
We don't have to track.
Are we just to clarify? Is it just the 4 of us going?
I mean, we offered Dragonhawk the opportunity, but the political ramifications gave them pause. We could ask Solarka, hit up the Moon Spears, but I'd be more inclined to ask the Moon Spears if they'd be willing to come park it in the grove
Watch the
and keep
school.
an eye on the school. I mean, I don't
I can
know.
ask Solarka, but I was going to ask her and her brothers to stay here as well.
Just like I tried to lay out today in the inherent danger of what we're doing by going up against Colsier, there's nobody that I would want to put in that line of fire, like by asking them to help us out. Because Dane at least has an understanding of the facility and what we're going up against there. Anybody else that we ask would have no idea what they're going up against on both fronts. As capable as our friends are.
Right.
If any of them were to die, I don't want to think about that. So,
But we're leaving them to face a similar thing here. Just if we don't get to the facility in time. I think it would be incredibly helpful if we had at least one non-aberrant marked charging into an aberrant targeted facility.
that's smart. That's fair.
That is good thoughts.
At the very least, if we all die, they could run away and let somebody know that we did not do what we tried to do.
Yeah. Who are you thinking, Shade?
I was thinking we would take Solarka. She smashes things really well. But I also don't, like you said, I don't like the idea of asking our friends to put themselves in strong immediate danger.
The only other person I can think of is Nardily, just because she has raided a house facility with us before and shown herself to be
She
incredibly capable.
Also great at smashing things. Yeah.
So, but
She also would be less upset if she had to leave us to die.
This is
I think
true.
that would be
Very
way
true.
harder for Solarka than Nerdly.
that is true. Somehow that is a pro in this situation, but yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Can't tell if that's Dane or Philip making faces at
I
this.
know.
reason.
You're getting a real meta problem for me here.
Yeah, for real.
No, I think it makes sense to have the Moon Spears and whoever they can bring guard the school, and if we want to bring Solarka along, or if we want Solarka and her brothers to also watch the school and it's just the 4 of us.
Don't tell her I said that, but my stomach went upside down about how dangerous this is going to be and asking her to come.
Yep.
I'll ask her to come. It's still upside down.
But you don't have to ask her to come.
I'm going to just
Like,
put this out there within Ari. Ari has something of a network he could reach into that he didn't used to have. If you want to. In addition to your many friends.
Yeah. If we're looking for capable people, we don't have a problem with dying on this mission potentially. I might have some options. I mean, her, Esri's her, now my her, the creepy lady, like, she wants me to be safe and survive so I can leverage that to get some of her goons to come along, or a goon, maybe Mirabella, but she's probably too busy. But I could try to reach in that if we want bodies. I certainly don't want them guarding the school, but might be able to get somebody to come along on the mission with us, and they have a vested interest in not seeing me die because I keep Esri from dying. So if you want me to pull on that thread, but it would be somebody having our back that we don't entirely trust.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know. I would go talk to Mirabella and see if there's anybody that is available to come.
I don't know if that sounds better.
Or the White Raven, I guess. I could also go talk to him. But, or I guess I could just talk to her directly. I got that mind thing that I can reach out.
I think I like those ideas more than putting Solarka in danger.
All right. Let me try to talk to... If I try to talk to her directly, there's a chance I'll go insane, but I would have to go talk to Mirabella face to face. I'm trying to weigh which one sounds worse.
Why is everything just a level of bad?
I mean, listen, my capacity to withstand this is pretty great. Like, I have a good noggin, but I'll just go talk to Mirabella. Gross. Would anyone like to come? I know nobody wants to come, but would anybody feel compelled to come? I'm more than happy to go alone, since we obviously need bodies here at the school.
What are our
I'd be
crazy
happy to
chances?
stand guard.
What are your crazy chances, Pog?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
For going insane.
I don't think I can bestow upon you the ability to talk to her. It's just within my own mind that I can reach out and talk to her. So it'd be up to my mind and my mind alone.
Oh. Kate. Then
Mirabella, there's not a chance of me going crazy. Sorry, I wasn't being clear in how I was communicating. I can either reach out to her directly, Arandis. I'll just use her name, Arandis, directly. Or I can go talk to Mirabella. Yeah.
Would you make a charisma saving throw?
Cool. Oh, because I said her name. You're doing a she who shall not be named thing. That's a natural 20, you son of a gun.
Nice.
The only way to find out is to say it again.
Say it 3 times and she appears.
Take 5 psychic damage.
Just thinking about it gives you a headache.
Okay.
I've got a couple like that.
What does that feel like, Philip? I guess, does it just feel like a stabbing pain, or...
When you start to say her name, there's like this brief moment where you like stumble over a name you know, like, everyone does that. And you're like, and when you reach for it in your head, there is, yes, a sharp pain.
So I don't even get the name out. Ow. Mm.
You passed the save, so you are capable of saying it. But
Okay.
Maybe the 4 is fine. That was.
No, I think it was just. I mean, do I get an indication that it's because I tried? Like, do I understand what happened?
it's obviously what happened. Yeah, it's
Okay.
obvious to you what happened.
Okay, she just wants me to keep her name out of my mouth. So I'm gonna go. I mean, what do you all think? Is it worth going to talk to Mirabella to see if there's a body that we can get to accompany us? We've tussled with them before. We know they're capable.
Dane, how many people did you take to your facility raid that you successfully did?
I had 3 along with me.
Oh, it was 4.
But he didn't have Colsier to deal with.
Right.
Let me go ask real quick. We don't need to sit here and hum and haw. Let me go ask, get a feel for it. And if it feels bad, I'll back off and not accept it.
We just can't die before we fight Colsier. We just.
Yeah. But they have a vested interest in this city too, since they have so many people here. So maybe that will also be motivation to not betray us. But let me go talk to him. I'll be back. Okay?
I will go with.
Yup.
You'll go with? What?
I won't
Okay.
say anything.
No, I'm not. I'm just worried about the school. But if y'all want to come with, that's fine.
What time of day are we talking? We're in evening?
Oh no, it's early morning.
Yeah.
You had breakfast with Dane, or Dane was
that's
having
right. It was
breakfast at the
breakfast,
Wavecrest
yeah.
when you.
So
I'm
talk
going to
to
go
them.
and talk to Solarka and tell her where we're going and ask if they can watch for us while you guys do
Okay.
that, so we don't make a bunch of trips.
Yep.
It's a good idea.
And we also need to ask the Moon Spears if they're willing to chill in the Grove. So,
Sounds like.
I'm sure she'll go with me for that conversation, no matter what her brothers say.
okay. And then do we want to try to head out today? Like, obviously nighttime is going to be bad. What are you going to say, Shade?
I was thinking maybe Ilya is still here, but that's not likely, I guess. I mean, because honestly, she would ignore us a lot.
We might run into one of the kids and they'll know where Ilya lives. That would be advantageous. But anyway, when do we want to head out? Throne Gate Ruins. How long of a trip are we talking to get there?
Oh, I can have us there in a couple hours.
Okay. We want to be able to get out there, do our thing, get back before nightfall, ideally. So, but depending on how long it takes us to do our thing, sounds like we should head out sooner rather than later. So, is everyone in a good position to head out as soon as we're done having all these conversations?
Yup.
Yeah, we should
Okay.
go as soon as possible.
Dane, how you sitting?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. Then, since the 3 of us are about to leave the house, do we just want to meet up? Which direction out of the city is the Throne Gate Ruins? North? Is that what Tommel said?
Why don't I wait here? You're worried about the security of the place. I can keep an eye on the front door.
All right.
It's broad daylight. I'm not going to steal the silverware.
I wasn't worried about it until you brought it up, but okay. Here, and Ari manifests another one of
Not
his
like
tokens.
the silverware was yours.
I use it. If you steal it, then I got to eat with my hands. Ari manifests one of the tokens that he can create and hands it to Dane. This will let you
Creepy.
reach out. Yeah. You should see the
Insight
lady
check?
that gave it to me.
Sure.
That's a good idea. I need to remember to insight check more.
Yeah, you really do. Because it shouldn't be me. 11.
The shade eye is
Dane
rusty.
seems very satisfied with this arrangement.
Just shows as a DM, my NPCs are smug but honest, so I don't think to check them for lies that often as a player.
We're just leaving him unchecked with our basement full of goodies.
I mean, Shade can stay. Like, Shade can stay and keep an eye on him. Like,
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay. So smoothly in this conversation, Shade will be like, I guess they wouldn't kill you before the raid. They do want you alive. Right, Ari?
they want Esri alive, and I have been charged with making sure that happens. So, yes, they want me alive so that I can keep Esri alive.
Guess until we can get the moon spears and or Thora back, I will stay with Dane
Okay.
and watch the children.
Great.
Okay.
Strike Force.
Disassemble.
Sure. Strike Force. Oh,
Strike.
Rude.
Strike Force Strike. That's a good one.
Way better.
So Pog and Ari are headed to Shadows.
We're
We're both headed out, just in different ways.
Pog
Oh,
is
I
headed
see.
to Black Iron. I'm headed to Shadow.
I see. Okay. So the two of you head out.
Gentlemen.
Dane.
As we get to the bottom of the stairs.
Dane gets up from the table. Shade. Stretches. Looks around. Walks over to a shelf of books. Slides one out. And then drops into one of the big comfy chairs that's by the fireplace in the little landing outside y'all's bedrooms. And
So cool.
looks extremely nonchalant. Throws one of his legs over the arm of the chair.
Some might even say too nonchalant. Rather chalant, if you ask me.
Circled all the way back around.
What does Shade do?
Oh,
Stairs.
I know. She super good at stalking in the jungle, but it's way less comfortable for her right here in broad daylight in civilization.
Mhm.
So she doesn't immediately stand up when he stands up. She just kind of sits there, which makes it more awkward because everybody has left and she's still at the Strike Force table. And he gets a book and walks away, and she realizes that she has to do something. It's been too long now. And so she goes and grabs a book. It's whatever one is closest to her, and opens it up and is sitting with it in her lap, petting Cal. And every now she remembers that she's supposed to turn a page when she's reading a book.
That's funny.
All right. Out in the city. Ari, you head to the fancy district. To Stormreach's premier nightclub at 11 in the morning.
We have never been to this place after noon.
You have never been to this place after noon. That is
Ari
accurate.
Has never been to this place, I don't think.
Nope.
You're in for a time.
Are you approach and you see a blank wall at the address, outside of which is a rather tough-looking elf with pale skin, dressed all in black, black pants, sleeveless black shirt, mark of shadow covering and writhing around one of his arms, and a sort of a neatly parted black hair that just sort of frames his face. Super goth look.
Edgy. Love it.
He
That's
looks
his
at
gamer
you
tag.
and says, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, I'm here to talk to Lady Mirabella. She'll want to talk to me.
He opens his hand and a clipboard appears. And you are?
Una Davari Smith.
Davari Smith.
Might also be Ari. That's what most people call me.
Mm-hmm.
Got an awful lot of names on that list.
It's true. We have a extensive clientele. But I do not have an Undavari or Ari Smith on it.
Can you just call her? Like, send to her? Send a
Make a
message?
persuasion check.
24. Pretty please?
This is the magic word.
I have a Undavari Smith here to see Lady Mirabella. Says she'll want to talk to him. I know, right?
They call it the hospitality industry.
They're checking.
So, how's working at Shadows? Good?
Normally quiet this time of day.
I'd imagine. Do you also work the night shift?
Sometimes.
Cool. Are you, like, heir to the house, or you just got the mark?
I am a scion of the family.
Okay. Cool. Cool. How long have you been in Stormreach? Okay.
I see.
Just try to be personable. But...
You can go in.
Yep.
He
And
steps
Ari
out
waits
of the way.
for the wall to no longer be a wall.
It's still there.
Steps where the guy was standing then.
You step through the wall.
What's it with walls not being walls lately? You know, you think you live your life with certain things not being able to be walked through. And then all of a sudden, 2 days in a row, just feels weird.
You walk past a coat check and down a short, spare hallway. The sound of upbeat club music filters through a curtain. And as you step into an enormous, wide open room, clearly primarily set aside as a dance floor. There's a bar along one side, there are some tables along the walls, and there is a stairway up to a large glassed-in enclosure, and you can see the figure of Mirabella Uruvi standing on the other side of the glass, looking down at you.
He gives a half-hearted wave as he makes his way over to the stairs and walks up.
All right. She opens the door.
Hello,
Ari.
Mirabella. How's it going?
You and your friends have such very odd times of doing business.
Yeah, I don't know what we wake up and have breakfast, then it's time to get to work, I guess. So, like to get my errands out of the way early.
I see. Well, what brings you here?
So, me and my friends are about to head out of the city, just not for a long amount of time. And we're potentially going up against something rather dangerous. Two things that are rather dangerous that are converging together, in fact. And given the nature of my relationship with our mutual friend and being able to keep our other mutual friend safe, I was wondering if you had anybody in your network that you might be willing to, I don't know, have join us for backup, because we're concerned about our numbers and what we're up against. So,
And what are you up against?
Yeah, she lives here. She'd not want that. So, you know, big lighthouse statue, Colseer, outside the city. So he's actually back, and he's looking to storm the city, take it back over, raise anyone that doesn't go along with his machinations, etc. So that's one thing that we're dealing. That's one thing that we're dealing with, and then additionally, there are some constructs that are built with the sole purpose of murdering people like myself, and we're trying to deal with that situation as well.
How do you know that?
In the back of Ari's mind, he is just now realizing, yes, she is tied to his network as it relates to Arandis Wool, but she's also tied to the houses, and this was a very, very bad idea. So,
Gulp.
And how do you know that?
one tried to, I guess not kill me, tried to capture me and take me back somewhere that I would guess, don't want to go.
Fascinating.
Underneath the city. So, but I understand it's a big ask, and
you defeated
there are
it. And you defeated it.
We did, yes. We managed to stop it.
Interesting.
So,
where are you going? Where would I be sending this person?
I would like to make an insight check on Mirabella to see the motivation behind
This
her.
has gotten out of hand so quickly.
I'm going to push that 11 to see if I can get anything better.
Turns out the correct answer was just the four of us. Sorry.
22.
She stares at you with what seems to be a perfectly pleasant, benign, blank expression.
Insight checks on a spy are always the best insight checks. Or assassin.
You came within 2 of her roll.
Great.
So,
I mean, Ari tried to make a read. He got his answer on the read, so he's going to go with the read.
Go.
Forgive me. I'm just realizing kind of I came to you because we're attached in a certain way, and I'm realizing that you are also attached in other ways that make this potentially very complicated for both of us in terms of my relationship. Ari gestures to his Khyber mark to the houses. And so,
Indeed.
Yeah.
That would be a complicated position. Well, think of it this way. My agent that I sent with you is absolutely going to tell me where you go and what you do there. So unless you're planning on murdering my agent, in which case I don't think I'll send someone with you.
It's more of a...
It seems harmless to tell me. Or at least no different.
Yes, but unless I decide to rescind my request for you to send an agent with us, because now I'm realizing the complicated nature. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to.
Do you think she doesn't know where you are?
I know, but she's not tied to the houses, is she? Like,
She doesn't have the same
dual loyalty. I know. All right. Yeah, there's a Cannith facility outside of the city near the Throne Gate ruins that we're headed to deal with.
All right.
So, I don't know what your house's relationship is with Cannith. I know that there's a lot of both unity and infighting amongst the houses. It's very convoluted and confusing from an outside perspective, if I'm being perfectly honest. But
it's not that from the inside.
Listen, she obviously would like me to be alive so that I can take care of him and make sure that he stays alive. So my thought was it was in our mutual interest that I stay alive. So
yes.
Unless your intention is to stop me from doing this and that be a weird twisted way of you keeping me alive, then yeah. Do you have an agent in mind that you would be willing to send?
I feel confident I could find someone. Where should I have them meet you and when?
Which direction out of the city is the Throne Gate ruins, Philip?
The Throne Gate ruins are going to be southwest out of the city.
What is the most reasonable exit from the city to have somebody meet us at? Because it's not going to be the school.
Probably out by way of Summerfield, near where you all used to live.
Okay. If it'll probably be a couple hours from now that we're heading out in the jungle. If you want to have them around that time go grab a drink at the Sword and Sheath, we can collect them there. Is that near enough?
The Emerald Claw have a complicated relationship with the Swords of Karn.
Fair enough. That's a good shout. You said Summerfield is the name of the exit?
That's where the treehouse is.
Okay. Is there a spot near the Summerfield exit of the city that your agent could be at?
Well, what about that treehouse you used to live in?
Cool. Yeah, that sounds great. We'll meet him at the treehouse.
Perfect.
All right. Well, this conversation has been terrible, but thank you for giving me the time, and we will
said yes to everything you asked for. How could
imagine.
this conversation have gone better for you?
The looming sense of dread that's in my gut. So that's the primary aspect of it.
Listen,
I know
spent many years developing that. It's an art form.
Yeah. All right. Well, really hope your agent doesn't backstab us out there, and
What
really
would be
hope
my
that
motive
this
for
doesn't
doing
come back to
that?
bite me. I don't know your motive for most things. I'm not so
That's
dumb
true.
as to think that I could possibly know what your motivations are. I'm at least not that dumb. So,
Good.
Yeah, I'm a real catch. All right, I'm gonna head out. Thank you.
Best of
Nari
luck.
gets up. Yeah. Nari just muttering to himself the whole way down the stairs. What was I think? That's such a bad idea. God, who taught me into this? Some weird voice in my head said, you got another network that you could go look into.
It's just an option.
I know. It's a bad one, but it's an option. I'm kidding. Go have cute times with Colin.
Philip,
Yes.
about 30 minutes, 40 minutes into her terrible observation skill adventure, Shade is going to leave Cal, go to the balcony, grab her notebook, and come back and sit down and just. So Dane, and if he's
Shade.
willing to look up from his. I have some questions about how you get people to do what you want them to do.
Interesting.
So
Anything
she
in
would just like to
particular?
continue.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you get them to do what you want them to do? Yeah, just that.
Do you want them to know that you're doing it?
I don't understand the question.
Do you want them to know that you're trying to convince them to do something you want them to do? Or do you want them to feel like it's their idea and never know that you really wanted it in the first place?
Oh. I think I want to be able to do both.
I'm better at the first. I'm convincing. I'm not as good at the second, at hiding what I'm doing. But the first one is all about understanding what a person's drives. Actually, both of these are all about understanding what a person's drives are. What makes them do the things that they do.
But what happens when that doesn't make sense?
Doesn't necessarily have to make sense. To get them to do what you want, you need to find the thing that makes them do what they do, and then you need to find a way to show them how actually that motivation is going to push them right towards what you wanted them to do in the first place. So,
Okay.
this job we're about to do. I wanted you to come with me the first time on the other job at the other facility. Maybe if you had, we'd have found out more. We'd have been more successful. Less stuff would have gotten banged up. Maybe we'd have found out about this facility a long time ago that we're about to go see. Any number of things. Could have been. I think you see that. You seem like the practical one.
I am practical, I think.
Right.
But surely everybody thinks they're being practical.
Oh, no. No, not everyone thinks they're being practical. A lot of people think they're being idealistic. They're being principled instead of practical. And sometimes that's not bad. Principles are good. Having a code, having something that tells you when the thing you're doing is wrong.
Or someone.
No. Someone telling you when the thing you do is wrong, well, that's unreliable. Because that's someone telling you they think the thing you're doing is wrong.
But aren't you just thinking whether or not you're right or wrong?
Yeah, but I know what I actually believe. You see, last time we had this conversation, Thora, Ari, all of you argued that what I wanted to do with the machine, use it to take out specific, targeted members of the houses, was wrong. If I operated the way you are suggesting, then I'd agree, because I trust Thora. I know Thora. I know she's
Right.
intelligent, she's wise, she knows what she's talking about.
Exactly.
But she's wrong. Because you see, by not doing that, if we'd gotten a full model of this thing, if we'd been able to get more of the data intact, been more successful on our raid, then the first thing I'd have done with it is figure out who set up this program in the first place. Whose brain did this thing come out of? And I'd have sent whatever one I had, or I'd have had Forge program, whatever one I had, to go after that person. I'd remove them. And I'd do that not because I hate them, although I do, but because by doing that, I stop them from building any more of these things. You and the others killed Tyrus at the Blackthorn facility, the Blackbriar facility. Why would you kill Tyrus?
Because he was attacking us.
If you'd found Tyrus and he wasn't attacking you, knowing that he'd taken aberrants and transformed them into those monsters that hunted you through his maze, did you let him walk?
Honestly, I'd probably wait to see what Pog and Ari did first. Because
What would you think?
kill
You.
him.
And so, if Pog and Ari tell you, don't, because whatever, he's surrendered, he's unarmed, does any of that change the reasons you want him dead? If he says, no, please, please, please don't kill me, I promise I'll never capture another aberrant marked person and torture them until they turn into a monster again, does that change the reasons to kill him? Does that remove any of the reasons that he should die?
It doesn't remove the reasons. But it is not the same as being attacked.
Oh, I know. No, him attacking you makes it easy.
Right.
But here's the question. Those kids out on the lawn. And he gestures at a window. Are they safer today because you killed Tyrus?
I would like to think so. But also we're planning an attack on a facility of similar beings.
You think if Tyrus was still alive, Kenneth wouldn't have still built this thing? There'd just be organic and machine versions.
That's true.
They are. The kids are safer because you killed Tyrus.
Right.
If Tyrus had fallen on his knees and begged for his life, would that change that math?
For the kids? No.
So, you gotta ask yourself this then. If Tyrus deserves to die when he's attacking you, doesn't he still deserve to die if he's not?
In your specific example, yes.
I'm only talking about specific examples. I'm not interested in killing every dragon-marked person.
Right. There's a lot of people that I would kill if they were actively attacking me that
Of course.
I would not have the same reason to kill if they weren't actively attacking me.
Sure. If
Okay.
you're the only person they're putting in danger, and they stop, it's a different thing. Right? If I'm walking down the street, someone tries to mug me, realizes I'm too much for them, and says, "Sorry, my bad." I'm not killing him. Why? He doesn't pose a danger to anyone else. He doesn't pose a danger to anyone I care for. Doesn't pose a danger to my people. Someone like Tyrus poses a danger to my people, whether he's attacking me or not. Whoever made this thing that attacked you, whoever built that facility that we crashed, a person deserves to die one way or another. Because if they don't, they'll do it again. They already had the idea. They already said, "That's a great idea. I should do that. You know what? I should do it so much I should build 2 facilities. I should mass produce these things." This is a person who hates you and me to a degree that he wants to be able to hunt down every single one of us. Whether that person's attacking me or not, they deserve death. And if I'd have gotten a hold of one of these things and turned it loose on him, sent it after him, maybe we wouldn't be doing this. Maybe we wouldn't need to do this. Maybe this cool seer wouldn't be in danger of getting a hold of all of this. Because what's he going to do with it?
Oh, nothing good. Nothing good.
Right. So it's not about what someone else tells you is right or wrong. It's about you knowing what you believe and trusting yourself.
So is it like right now, I don't think I believe everything you're saying.
Right.
But I don't know why I don't, because it sounds like the questions that you're asking, I agree with. But it doesn't feel right. So like that.
Why? Why doesn't it feel
I
right?
don't know. Like right here.
Mhm.
Cause it makes me feel bad that I agree with it.
There are unpleasant truths.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those.
Think about some of those. Is hiding from that unpleasant truth going to make it go away?
No.
I want the idea, I want to believe the idea that we can just be at peace with the houses. But even though what you've been doing here is good, and I couldn't be prouder of what you all are doing here at this school. People in this city, seen you aren't evil, that you aren't monsters.
Right.
Do you think the people who are designing this in House Cannith don't know there's a group of aberrants who have been nothing but helpful and good for this city? Do you think they're just somehow ignorant of that, even though they're building it mere miles from this city?
No, I think they know. And they don't care.
That's right. And that means that while there are some members of dragon-marked houses who might also be willing to live and let live, there are some members of the houses who will never see as this anything but a threat, that we're never going to convince. And those ones, we gotta end. Because they'll never let us be safe.
But you don't know who those ones are until
No.
they're attacking you. And then that's how you know. And then it's obvious that you can kill them because they're attacking you.
We knew before you were attacked by this machine. I came here and stood in this building and argued, let's go do this now, before any aberrants get attacked.
Right.
Sometimes you can. You're right, sometimes you can't. Sometimes people surprise you, you have to deal with it. Sometimes you can know ahead of time. You don't always have to wait. You don't have to only counterpunch.
I see what you're saying.
If you were sitting out there on the edge of the island, and you saw let's see. Alright, I know you already dealt with him, but we'll use him as an example, because it's an easy one. Old Falco. Okay, imagine you didn't already know he was dead. Alright, imagine he's still out there. But you know him. You know what kind of person he is. Imagine you see him walking down the road, right towards those stairs up to your school, with a dozen House Dineth troops behind him. You're sitting there, he hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't drawn a weapon, he hasn't said, I'm coming to get you kids. But you're sitting there and you could put an arrow through his eye. You wait for him to draw? You give him a chance? You deal with him while you can at your choice, on your terms, with none of your kids in danger.
Is this me today or is this me 3 years ago? Because
Today.
I think those answers would be different because I hope people can change. Like especially with you bringing up the kids, unfortunately, they watch what we do. Like what I do, it impacts them, and it's. I try to protect them, but also they watch the choices I make, and so I have to make the right choices because they have to. They watch me and they learn from me, and that's not good for them right now. But I'm trying to make it better for them.
That's a fair point.
And so I think I would want them to see me consider and take a second to consider killing someone and just know that it shouldn't be intuitive to shoot someone in the eye because you sense danger. I don't think it should.
Not anyone. No, not just anyone. But do you think he's coming for tea?
I don't know. Mrs. B makes some real good tea. But probably not.
You're not wrong. And this is why I don't run a school.
I don't know. I would probably just shoot him in the eye. But I would like to think that I think about it.
I hope you do. I think that's the right choice. But I see what you're saying. And this is why I don't run a school.
Same.
I can't. Look, I know why you stayed. And I suspect that it occurred to Arya Pog. What's he gonna say to the kids when he's here? I'm sure that's why Pog told me I wasn't supposed to be around here. Or at least part of it.
We care about them very much.
You should. I'm not gonna go share war stories with those kids.
They would love to hear them.
I don't want them to grow up and be like me. I want them to grow up and be like Arlo. I can't run a school. I can't be a good example to those kids. But I can make sure that somebody can. Even if that means that I'm the guy they teach those kids to never be like.
I don't think we've specifically said you. But
Well, I appreciate that, but even if I'm the counterexample in every lesson on how to behave towards people who hate you, if doing what I do means the Falcos of the world don't come anywhere near this school, that's fine. I'll tell you right now, we go to this facility, we find the person who built these things. I don't care whether they attack us, Shade. I'm gonna kill him.
that makes sense. And you get to decide what you do.
All right. Pog.
This has been the worst episode ever.
Oh, I'm really gonna miss old Shade, man. Oh.
Pog, you head on over to Black Iron.
Okay. Fuck. Okay. I mean, sure. Yeah.
There's Solarka and Hular and the boys and all.
Okay. I have to Colin has to exit for a second. Okay. Hi, Mr. Hular.
Oh, Pog, I have finished things for you.
Oh, that's all. Thank you.
You all gave me many
Yes.
wagon loads of metal. Yes.
This is the perfect time for these things. Yes.
All right. Come here.
Yes, sir.
He takes you around and he's up. You are a difficult challenge. You do not wear armor. You know that you should, right?
I've been thinking that more recently. Yeah, I bleed everywhere sometimes.
Right. Because I can make you armor. Solarka says you prefer not. So
It has been that way. I probably should change my thoughts on that.
well, if you do, tell me. But for the moment, and he brings out. Pog's always sort of worn this strap with a bit of padding on one of his shoulders, as just a little bit of armor on his leading side. Hular pulls out what is obviously a chunk of the giant's breastplate that he's hammered into a new shape. And it is this blackened metal pauldron to go on your shoulder, that's riveted onto essentially just a buckled strap to go under the chest and hold it in place, since there's no armor for you to fix it onto. It's not much coverage, but I was able to discover because of the fire giants' inherent nature, armor that they make must be very resistant to heat, the natural heat of their forms.
That's my thing too.
So, yes, so I know. This will shield you against fire.
Oh, that is very good. Thank you, Mr. Hular.
Yes.
Oh,
And he goes to throw it over, pulls the
Hular helps you
The
buckle it
existing-
in place.
Pog would not speak, trying to say anything during that. It's a big moment for Pog. So yeah.
This, in terms of your D&D Beyond sheet, this functions the same way as a cloak of fire resistance.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So this is a pauldron of fire resistance. It makes you resistant. You take half damage from fire.
Boy, that is useful. Awesome.
I'm working on other things. This is just the first one I finished. Remaking armor is tricky.
Cannot tell you how good the timing is for this. Mr. Hular, could I talk to you and Solarka about why this is such good timing?
Yes.
I assume I can see her and
Yeah, she's right there.
kind of motion her over into this.
She comes over.
We talked, and I don't know if you told your father, but our very long story in a very short version is my friends and really everyone like us is being hunted right now. And there are people who have made machines to track us and take us. And everyone that I know and love will be affected by this, and we're going to do something about it. And it's real danger. And it's a danger to the children at the school. And while Ari and Shade and myself go, we need to ask the people that we trust and know to help us. And if you could, any of you, help with watching and just making sure that the school stays safe while we're gone. We don't know. The first of these machines that we fought was here in the city, and we don't know for sure that it's the only one. And we have to go to stop the production of these, but there could be more danger while we leave.
You don't need someone to come?
We do. We do. And Ari went to ask for accompaniment, and obviously we thought of you, and I'm just going to tell you, you're the best fighter that we know, the best help that we've ever had, but it makes my stomach go upside down to think about you getting hurt doing something that we asked you to go on with us. So it is a problem that we have, and we do need help, but I can't stop having an upside down stomach about asking you to help with it. It almost killed Ari again, and with all three of us, we only barely got away.
If what you need is for me to stay, I can stay.
All of the help protecting would be better for us knowing as we go that the school and the children are safe.
I understand.
And Mr. Hular, I don't like to ask things for help. I don't like to ask for help, is the things I meant to say. We really, really would appreciate the protection of the school while we're gone.
I can bring some of my boys over there. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hular. And Pug's gonna stick his hand out for a handshake if it's taken. Not a fist.
Hular takes your hand. Gives it a good squeeze.
Thank you, sir. We are also going to ask our friends the Moon Spears as well, and I need to go and talk to them. I don't know if you want to go with me to Solarka.
Of course, fuck, sure.
Okay. I hope I see you again soon, Mr. Ular.
Be careful, Pog.
Thank you. And he pounds on the new armor. Thank you.
Solarka and you head over to the Moon Spears. Soleil is sitting out front in the shade and stands up when he sees you coming. Pog, what can I do
Hello.
for you?
We are having dangers, troubles.
Yes, I've been having you followed.
Yes, and thank you. It is. We are so glad that we're friends. It's sometimes scary to not know that you're being helped when you're being helped is something that I just learned. But thank you so much for the help. The Stryke Force is heading out to go handle this, or try to.
Right.
And so we won't be around to need following, and we were going to ask for your help in protecting the school while we're gone. Solarka's family will also be there helping us. We don't know how many more could be in town, but we can't stay and let more happen. So,
Of course. I can have the ones that are following you remain near the school.
that will make all of us feel better. Thank you, sir.
All right. He leans his head around you and gives a couple of bird-like whistles.
Love it.
And a couple of drow step out of the shadows near a house.
Yep.
Soleil and goes back and forth with them a couple times in giant, and then they step back into the shadows.
Very easy for you.
Well, they were already right there, so
Yeah, that's just very...
I was just adjusting what I had already told them to do.
It's good. Scary good. Yep. It's... Well, thank you again, and we're off then. Hope to see you again soon.
Yes.
Reaches out to fist bump Soleil.
Good hunting. Taps your fist. All right. And as you all return to the house, we'll wrap up this episode and pick up right there next time.
Like this episode struck from the record, please.
I liked the NPC tour.
Take this one from the top.
Good. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find links to all of our social media down there in the description, including to our Discord. You'll also find links to the Geek Pantheon YouTube, where you can find Eric and various TTRPG videos, and a link to Colin's Twitch, where he is sorry BTR. The O in that is a 0. New episodes of Khyber Shards drop every Monday. New Khyber Shards answers on Fridays. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.